stay with South Africa, where the Vice President, Paul Mashatile, today formally unveiled the 100 billion rand transformative fund. Now, the new fund is targeted at supporting manufacturing industries that are promoted and owned by black South Africans, especially those in the small business sector of the economy. Let's get a bit more drill down into the new fund from the Vice President.
We must collaborate to eliminate structural barriers and establish equitable opportunities for all. We must focus on industrial policy, infrastructure investments, and social grants to foster inclusive growth and protect the most vulnerable in our society. Regardless of the challenges that persist, we have, through our democratic dispensation, traversed the journey of economic redress together, knowing the significance of inclusive development and growth for South Africa's economy. Economic redress and transformation, as anchored on the equality clause of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, has been given practical impetus through a plethora of legislation, which of course includes the BEE Act of 2003 as amended now. Over the past 22 years, BEE has evolved as policy, legislative and regulatory instruments to address challenges and opportunities, promoting an inclusive economy for all South Africans. This evolution is informed by global commitments to address economic inequality, poverty, aligning socio-economic and industrial policies accordingly to address poverty. Section 2, or rather 2H of the BEE Act, provides legislative impetus to the constitutional undertaking of requiring government to increase, and I quote, increase the effective economic participation of black-owned and managed enterprises, including small, medium, and micro-enterprises and cooperatives, and enhance their access to financial and non-financial support. The implementation of this act has made significant strides in promoting black people's economic participation, including their ownership of businesses, occupying management roles in government and corporate, and expanding social investments in rural communities. However, additional efforts are required to further improve these opportunities. It is important, Program Director, to recognize that the funding deficit in South Africa is a contributing factor to the failure of small businesses. In spite of government interventions such as enterprise and supply development, which is a critical component of BEE framework, there is still a need for additional measures to be taken to expand funding, or rather funding access to SMMEs. Loans are the most common financial instruments for micro, small and medium enterprises in South Africa, but they often have stringent underwriting standards, making them difficult for smaller businesses with limited collateral and financial records to secure. I'm happy that Minister Ndabeni has been dealing with a lot of these issues to really ensure that small businesses have access to funding. That is why we encourage small businesses seeking financial assistance to explore government funding programs and business support agencies such as the National Empowerment Fund, Small Enterprise Finance Agency, and the Small Enterprise Development Agency. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today is an important and historic day for South Africa, as it marks a key milestone in our journey towards economic transformation. We fully welcome the launch of this transformation fund of 100 billion rands. Now, I'm happy that many who spoke here earlier on the panel also welcome this transformation fund, as it will serve as a strategic vehicle for businesses to embrace change, foster innovation, but more importantly, drive growth. This fund will serve as a catalyst for financial support, guiding organizations through crucial transitions and enable them to seize new opportunities that arise in the market. As entrepreneurs, as we seek to improve access to capital and the need to remain competitive in this dynamic environment, I believe that the Transformation Fund will be invaluable. The proposed Transformation Fund will unleash ESD's potency in driving economic inclusion and participation. We are going to make sure that the Transformation Fund is at the center of government, specifically driven from the presidency. We will, of course, work with the Minister of Trade and Industry, Minister Tau, as well as other key economic cluster ministers to ensure that we meet the set targets, especially in the procurement of goods and services. This will include expanding spending aimed at supporting African and Black enterprises in townships and also rural areas in our country.